Getting ready to go, racing round number 9 of the ARCS di9 Design Monday Night Lightning from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. David Houck and Allison Mikowski on row number 1, getting ready to start this race with Nashville's David Houck, originally from Orange County, in the first position. Spot number 2, Allison Mikowski in the number 99 Verizon Ford Mustang. He's starting second. Jeremy Brio, the points leader, in the third spot. He's looking to clinch his title tonight. Kobe Roberts making a guest appearance, starting in position number 4. North Carolina's Dustin Painter in the number 49 MK Men Chevrolet Silverado. Ryan Pennell from right here in Speedway, Indiana. Such an interesting driver to talk to. A homecoming for him, starting right ahead of Sam Roberts in the number 15 Ford Mustang. He's starting 8th. John Honeybrink rocking the number 20 Home Depot colors. Very, very similar to Tony Stewart's ride, but for the black numbers on the top and the side. Hopefully Honeybrink does well this afternoon. How about a little nostalgia? Speaking of the number 20, it's the number 2. Connecticut's Thomas Andrews rocking the old Miller Lite Rusty Wallace scheme. How about that for a flash to the past there? Seth Wansing, a little bit more recent paint scheme, but a different sponsor, rocking the number 9 Midwest Barbecue Chevy Camaro. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey from New York City, rocking the Estetes 94 ahead of Tommy Withers in the number 6 Viagra Ford Mustang. Then Daniel Roberts rocking the number 30 Ford, starting 13th. Back to the leader, David Houck, rolling around behind the Porsche 911. You see them coming around this very, very long and wide turn 13. They're running the old U.S. Grand Prix course today. Pace car peels off. Gavin Hudspeth cheering for Nick Pressey, waiting for that green flag. We are racing at Indy. Tommy Withers going around at the back. The number 6 Viagra Ford getting crushed into the back end. No yellow. Rules dictating we're going to wait until 3 cars get into an incident, but there's Al Simkowski, who started on the front row. He's now on the access road of the Oval 2. 99 now on the outside. Kobe Roberts takes advantage and moves into position number 3, while Jeremy Brio, the points leader, is in second. And at the front of it all, Orange County's David Houck in first. Warp Lotus saying, let's go. Gavin Hudspeth saying, well, cheering for Nick Pressey, and Gav saying he can't wait to get back into the iRacing scene. He's missed it, but he doesn't have a comfortable setup. Oh, the boys at ARCS will help you nevertheless. Warp Lotus saying the chatter he's heard in the garage area is that some of these setups are a bit frustrating for some drivers. Well, what's frustrating is Al Simkowski in the number 99 Verizon 5G Ford. He now sits just ahead of Dustin Painter, and Tommy Withers has gone around again. Ryan Pinnell, the local driver, well off the racetrack now. Pinnell struggling to get that Screwball Whiskey Ford back into fighting shape. Now being overtaken by Dan Roberts, Pinnell drops outside the top 10 within the first 2 laps. David Houck leading by 2 seconds over Jeremy Brio in the second position. Coming out of the infield, he's going to go through Oval 2, Oval 1. Let's ride around for 1 lap with Jeremy and see how he enjoys the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Listen to this. Samuel Roberts having a big incident. We'll get back to the in-cars there. The number 15 Wrangler Ford falls off the racetrack, does a pirouette. This is right here in the infield, turns 3 and 4. Here comes his brother Daniel Roberts behind him in the number 30. Ryan Pinnell sitting 11th ahead of Tommy Withers and John Honeybrink. Roberts gets back out on the racetrack. It's been a calamitous lap for Speedway's Ryan Pinnell, having a tough time getting going in the number 12 Screwball Ford, but still early on. We're not even 1/10 of the way into this race. Plenty of time to settle down and get the car pointed in the right direction. Something that David Houck has done since the word go. The number 21, Jimmy John's Ford, leads Jeremy Brio by 1.5 seconds into the corner, but Houck has a disastrous turn one. Brio now hot on his heels for the lead. Brio to the outside, now to the inside. He tries the crossover out of 5, down the middle straight. Jeremy Brio to the inside. It'll be a drag race with David Houck into turn 6. Brio looks to clear the 21 Jimmy John's Ford, and in a freaky fast way out of the infield, here comes the 21 of Houck. Houck side by side with Brio now. These two really giving it their all out of the infield. Houck gonna lose control. He has to slam on the brakes to make sure the car doesn't go too wide. And your new leader on lap number 4, Jeremy Brio. And how? Now pulling away 1.5 seconds, the gap between Brio and Houck. Unbelievably good move by Brio. In the third position, Al Simkowski in the number 99 Verizon Ford. Last time around was his fastest lap with a 1:32.98. This time 1:33.55. Fastest lap of the day goes to the race leader, Jeremy Brio. Tommy Withers having complications. The number 6 Viagra Ford off track once again. Tommy Withers looks like he may have collided with a driver. Let's see what happened to the 74. Just goes off track, tries to correct it, and just gives it way too much. Gavin Hudspeth and Warped Lotus talking about sim racing here. Gavin saying, that's what I'm going through. Rear end hurts after about 20 laps. Talking about his race seat there, and that's got to be difficult, Gav, especially when you're in there for, let's say, an endurance race or a race that's going to be more than 2 hours. Your butt has to get numb after a certain period of time, doesn't it? Brio coming out of the infield section onto Oval 2, Oval 1 to complete lap number 5. Warped Lotus talking about racing on the Xbox, racing on Sim, and it's kind of a shift that you see the NASCAR community making right now. You'll see a lot of NASCAR community members talking about racing on iRacing rather than NASCAR Heat. A lot of us, including myself, not only broadcasting but the occasional race we'd have on Heat, and that was our main focus. But in this past year, and I think having time at home, as John Honeybrink goes around, let's have a look here. The number 20 Home Depot Camry, the left side all torn up. John Honeybrink sitting stone dead last, and you can hear sounding very off song. Now he's got the foot down, but he finds himself 25 seconds off of 12th place, Ryan Pinnell. Roberts with a big crash out of turn number 13. That's Dan Roberts being overtaken by Tommy Withers down the front straight. And the Georgia pilot struggling to get his race car going after John Honeybrink has his incident. And here comes Ryan Pinnell, who has no hood on that number 12. What on earth happened to his car? And there goes Pinnell, who completely misses turn 1. Oh, come on, Ryan, get a grip now. And there's Daniel Roberts, Tommy Withers. Look at these three drivers. Just, let's go to a wide shot here, and you can see there's Dan Roberts leading Tommy Withers and Ryan Pinnell. And just all at the same time having terrible luck. Let's go back and see what happened to Daniel Roberts. Samuel Roberts going off track. John Honeybrink having an incident going into turn 1. Tommy Withers falling off the track big time again in the Viagra Ford. Ryan Pinnell now moves into the 11th position from that. Lurkin Tom Gaming in the chat says, let's go 99. He's talking about Illinois' Al Simkowski, 8 seconds behind second place, Davey Houck. David, who's only 1.5 seconds off of race leader Jeremy Brio as they're coming to complete lap number 7. Bringing up the points brought to you by di9 Designs. Brio leading these points by 63 markers that I can tell over Cody Pennell, who's not present in tonight's race. David Houck, who is about 70 points off of the leader, has everything to do, but Jeremy Brio could clinch that title by winning this race today. It's going to be quite the interesting situation headed into the final round, but it's been a semi-final to watch so far. Stage 1 ending at lap number 10. Jeremy Brio leading David Houck by just 1 and a couple tenths of a second as Houck comes out of the final corner. He's going to get a great tow on Brio, and David Houck is going to have a chance to take the lead here before stage end. Daniel Roberts having another incident, and that's 2 incidents now, and the 30 car, another incident also, but Honeybrink soldiers on. Gavin Hudspeth asking, how does the point system work, Rick? Is it a Winston style or a playoff chase style? It is the old Winston Cup style. No. So Jeremy Brio, once again, to bring up the points for the fans. Brio, who has that enormous lead, 60-some championship this evening. The gap, though, 0.6 of a second. David Houck making up the time to Jeremy Brio. There's the 6 of Tommy Withers. Here comes first and second. David Houck closing that gap. Let's ride along with the 21 as he gets closer. 2 laps to go in stage 1 this time. Interesting how Houck doesn't just drive straight over those curbs like you would have seen other drivers do. We saw the 74 of Brio do. Houck with a smoother lap coming to the David Houck showing that he's been quicker for 3 out of the last 5 laps compared to Brio. Houck, will he attack before they get to the white flag? He's going to set him up for the straight, coming to the line to end stage 1. Kobe Roberts coming back into the pits here. Drivers coming down pit road. Brio now opening the lead to 1 second over Houck. There's the leader now exiting the infield. It's foot to the floor from here to turn 1. 1 lap to go in stage 1. This time by Simkowski's gone around in turn number 4. Al Simkowski incredibly slow. Let's see what happened to the 99. Just missing his mark there. Said that he crashed, but nothing that I'm having some trouble, and he's spilled it. The Miller Lite Ford has gone around and ruined the right side of that Ford. Let's have a quick look. Oh, and it's already been ruined from here. Just going well off the track there. Struggling to get that race car going, and he spins around. Back to the fight for first. Jeremy Brio leading David Houck through turns 3, 4, and 5. Out of that looping wide infield, down what you might call the back straight. Brio using all of the racetrack like a proper road racer should. Houck following him into 7. Out of the infield, Houck trying to widen the exit to get a great run down the straight. Last corner through the infield. This is where Brio has seemed to be stronger. Starting to pull away now. 0.6. 0.7 now. Out of the infield, it's Brio's stage if he can hold on to the end. Coming out of the final corner, Jeremy Brio gets the checkered flag in stage number 1. David Houck, second. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey now exiting the infield. He will hang on for third in stage number 1. Jeremy Brio, winner of this first stage. Fans at home, that's going to give us an opportunity to take a 60-second break. We'll be back with pit stops and an interview with our stage 1 winner. Don't go anywhere. Fans watching at home, thank you so much. Appreciate you for subscribing, and if you are listening without ads, chances are you are a subscriber through the Twitch channel. Thank you so much. Repeat 1975 in this chat. I'm going to give him a big shout out when we get back from break here. But fans, thanks again for tuning in. Sit tight. Drop me a line on Twitter if there's anything I can do to make your viewing experience a little more pleasurable. Thank you. Back on track with our Stage 1 winner, Jeremy Brio, driving the number 74 Smeal Racing Designs. And there's a celebrity among us, a celebrity in the chat. Repeat 1975 says, good evening, Rick James. Looking forward to getting back in the booth with you at the end of the month. It's been far too long. I really don't want to say it was Hallowdega, which was a year ago since the last time we were in a booth together, but it may have been since last October 31st, but it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a NASCAR Heat 5 send-off with a lot of the boys from ENEA. Of course, Repeat's going to join me in the booth. That's going to be a thrill. Look out for that. Thanks for coming, Repeat. Appreciate you, buddy. Send my love to Mrs. 1975. Let's go on and have a word with our Stage 1 winner and points leader, Jeremy Brio. Jeremy, it's Rick James up top. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, Rick.
You're leading this race, you're leading these points, and you could walk away tonight with the title clinched. Is it your night?
So, Davey's been on my rear end the entire time, so if I can hold him off, I think I'm going to have a pretty good shot at it.
What are the tires like out here? They say that it's about 20 to...
Caution, I'm going to pit. So, it's like driving on ice out here. It's kind of... I don't know how to describe it without saying the wrong words.
No, it looks slippery. It looks very difficult considering this is an unknown circuit to what a lot of the guys saw this weekend. This is not the NASCAR course as you know it. We'll flash the circuit on there. This is the original U.S. Grand Prix race course. So it's a big wrench here, and it's going to be a test of all your skills. That leads me to my next question, Jeremy Brio. What is your favorite fruit?
Grapes. Got to go with grapes.
You know, grapes are pretty good. Do you dip them in like any sort of sweets? Like do you do like chocolate with it or anything like that?
No, I just go straight up.
Just straight up grapes. Madman.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, Jeremy. Best of luck, buddy. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Brio leading this race, David Houck in the second position, and there you see that track map once again. It's a different circuit. It is a different animal. Fans of NASCAR may not recognize this circuit. And if you weren't watching Formula One in the early years here, or MotoGP, you wouldn't recognize this circuit. You wouldn't have seen it. It's quite the variable, but it's going to make for quite good fun. Getting ready to restart stage number 2. Al Simkowski being scored as the leader in the number 99. The Illinois pilot leading in the Verizon Ford, David Houck in second. So as they were at the start of this race, it'll be 2 Fords on the front row. The points leader, Jeremy Brio, starting in the third position. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey in fourth, and the Connecticut pilot who's pancaked the right side of the Miller Lite Ford, Thomas Andrews, will be restarting in the fifth position here. Al Simkowski at the front. Lurkin Tom Gaming, Gavin Hudspeth getting acquainted in the chat here. Making plans for Thursday Night Thunder. It's season 3 of Thursday Night Thunder on ARCS. You can catch that on the ARCS Racing Network on Twitch. Exciting as well. We got to give it up to the good folks over at di9 Designs. However, none of this would be possible without two groups of people. You, the fans, most importantly. Second, di9 Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use their code di9 Designs at circlebsales.com for free shipping on all your diecast and merch over $20. Kobe Robertson, the number 22, going to be getting one of his laps back, as is the hometown driver Ryan Pennell. John Honeybrink in the number 20 Home Depot Camry. The left side of his car looks like the right side of Andrews. Well, the left side of Andrews is starting to look like the right side too. Look at that. Look at that. So they're going to come down, get those cars repaired as Andrews comes smoking into pit road. The lights are out atop the Porsche 911. Lurkin Tom Gaming cheering for Thomas Andrews, who's going to be getting his tires, his repair. Gavin Hudspeth talking about the 87 cars being interesting, as under caution, the hometown flavor Ryan Pennell goes off track for whatever inexplicable reason, but we like Ryan, so we'll give him a pass. Pro Plutonic says, Rick is one of my favorite broadcasters, to be honest. Pro Plutonics, you're one of my favorite commenters in this race, so thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Stick around, and that reminds me, I need to post on Instagram that this race has been happening. I haven't touched my Instagram at all. It's been silent while my Twitter's been moving, so I'll take this moment here. David Houck leading this race. He's going to be at the front. Al Simkowski starting right next to him. But I think Al Simkowski beat him off pit road, so Simkowski will be the control car. Coming through this final corner now, Lurkin Tom Gaming getting ready for the restart. I am too. Simkowski and Houck, the control cars here. Cars still straggling, not anywhere close to the leaders, but the pace car's going to peel off anyway. They won't be waving the restart. It's just going to be 6 at the front, like the Formula One race in 2005. We're green anyway. Thomas Andrews crashing before he even gets to the line. Simkowski leading the rush into one. Houck won't quite clip him off. The points leader, Jeremy Brio, sitting in third now, single file through the snaking 1, 2, and 3. Ryan Pennell coming off the track. Is he in front of the leaders? This is indeed Ryan Pennell, who's only a few meters in front of the leaders, and Al Simkowski goes around in the number 99 Verizon Ford. Terrible start for Simkowski. Wrong overlays up there now. Now we got him in the right order. Jeremy Brio leading Nick Pressey, who's moved into the second position. Pressey started 12th, and he's now up to the silver medal spot. But here comes the Orange County pilot, David Houck. He's in third. Chevy, Ford, your top three. Lurkin Tom Gaming says 99 gets some space he can pull away, but now he's got all the space in the world, Lurkin Tom. Look at this wide open space for the 99 of Al Simkowski to catch right back up to the field. Seth Wansing sitting in 7th, just getting off the back straight now with no hood to his car. Kobe Roberts looking like his car's in an okay condition, but he's nowhere near any competition. Thomas Andrews. Nothing much you can say about the right side of that car there. Going incredibly wide and missing the apex by a country mile. Will he stay off the grass? He's got 2 wheels off-roading through the infield there. Tommy Withers in the number 6 Viagra. Ford trying to get to the outside of the Miller Lite Mustang. Nothing doing there. Speedway's Ryan Pennell in the Screwball Whiskey Mustang. Driving it like he's had a couple of Screwball Whiskeys, but hopefully he finishes this in one piece, Ryan. Keep the car pointed in the right direction. John Honeybrink down into 12th now, and Daniel Roberts still in pit road receiving repairs. And speaking of repairs, it's Al Simkowski, who's come down for tires, fuel, and whatever can fix that car. But at the front of the race, Brooklyn's Nick Pressey coming to take the lead from Brio. Stage ends in 5 laps, and then we race to lap 40. Jeremy Brio ahead of Nick Pressey, David Houck in 3rd. Warp Lotus saying, I wonder what happened if only Rick James had pit road reporters. I can tell you what happened. The race restarted with only 6 cars in position to start. The rest of the cars coming out of pit road, nowhere near the front straight when the race restarted, and all falling well off the pace. Tommy Withers recently running into trouble. Let's have a look. Well off the track in turn 1. And there goes Thomas Andrews. Withers having to come to a stop, getting the race car going once more. Tommy Withers finds himself on the very edge of the top 10. Lurkin Tom Gaming says he's for sure a 1.5 mile guy, but road racing is a lot of fun. He wishes he was there tonight, but I'm on vacation. No worries, Lurkin Tom. Enjoy that vacation, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Nick Pressey sitting in that 2nd spot. David Houck's in 3rd. Warp Lotus says he's okay everywhere and not very good on road courses. You know, I find myself kind of okay on road courses, but terrible everywhere else. Not to say that I couldn't hold my own at a road course, but, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world. It takes a lot of focus and concentration that I don't have. John Honeybrink falling off the track recently and just struggling to get that number 20 Toyota to get going. Gives it a little too much excitement with the right foot. Honeybrink struggling to keep that car moving, and he's well off the pace. Now it sounds like he's going in the right direction. Kobe Roberts running 7th. 1 lap ahead of John Honeybrink. And the left side of Roberts' car is seeing some action. Nick Pressey, however, is looking to get some action from the front of this race. Chasing down Brio. He was just 3/10 behind him, but Jeremy Brio is so good on this part of the circuit. Right, well, I'm sorry, on the previous part of the circuit, just as they leave the infield, what you might know as turns 12, 13, and all the way to the line. But Pressey really closing the gap, and so is David Houck, who's sitting in 3rd, just behind the Brooklyn pilot. Let's ride along with the Orange County driver and see how he gets around Pressey. Nick Pressey riding in that 10th spot right there. David Houck rolling around in third, but here comes Pressey for the lead to the inside. Brio throws a block. Pressey moves to his outside. Down the back straight. Oh, there goes Brio. He goes a little bit off course, protecting the inside. Now Pressey behind him, having to snake through, trying to set himself up. Out of the infield section, you can see that the 21 looks right to the inside of the 94. There is the gap now, and watch Brio just tear away from Nick Pressey. 7/10 and counting. John Honeybrink running into issues. Here comes Thomas Andrews in the number 2. Honeybrink running one lap down. Here comes the leaders to put him a second lap down. Will Honeybrink hang on before the end of the stage? This is it right here. If Nick Pressey wants a stage win, he's going to have to pry it from Brio's warm, agile hands as he drives the car left, right, and every which way through the racing capital of the world, as they call it. David Houck comfortably in the 3rd position. Will he make an attempt on Pressey? Lurkin Tom Gaming saying these 3, the road course bringers. Pro Plutonic saying, heck yeah, my boy Pressey might get a win tonight. And as Lurkin Tom pointed out, he is the ARC's truck champion. Nick Pressey being overcome with emotion, sealing that truck championship. What a week it would be for the Brooklyn pilot if he could double that up with a win. Here comes Houck for second to his inside. Pressey trying to get defensive with it, driving a little too wide off the corner. Now in defense mode against the 21. Brio leading undisturbed. He's going to win the stage. Houck to the inside of Pressey. They make contact out of the infield. David Houck to the inside, putting the freaky fast forward in the 2nd position for now. Pressey needs to get a run and a good toe down the straight. There's Brio. He's going to get the stage 2 win. David Houck leading Pressey out of turn 4, and that should be your 1, 2, 3 Chevy, Ford, Jeremy Brio, David Houck, Nicholas Pressey, Sam Roberts in the number 15 Wrangler Ford, who's had more than a few incidents this evening coming out of the final corner. He will finish 4th, and in the MK Men Chevrolet, Dustin Painter will finish 5th in stage number 1. Jeremy Brio winning that 2nd stage. David Houck coming in 2nd. We're going to have a word with the Orange County driver, and we'll be back. We'll be ad-free for 23 minutes, and we'll start the final stage of the Monday Night Lightning semifinal. Don't go anywhere. Under caution between the 2nd and 3rd period of racing. David Houck in that 2nd spot here for the win, and nothing else as Brio looks like he's en route to clinch, but anything is possible. Let's have a word with the Orange County pilot, Davey Houck. Rick James up top, you got me?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm having a great time watching you, Nick, and Jeremy battle for the lead. It's been Jeremy's race so far. What do you have for that 74?
I had at first stage, my steering wheel came off the mount, and I had to little panic mode right there to get it back on there. Second stage, did got a little loose there and spun out, and I had to go left, and everyone else went right, and I lost 2 spots. Really hard to pass here. I ain't gonna use the bumper until this final stage to make a move, but got a little something for Jeremy here. I can't let him win all these road course races.
What's going to be the strategy tire-wise? Up until what point do you say I would rather have track position instead of tires?
I'm gonna conserve my tires. I've got a good race pace right now, running 131s, 132s. That's where I'm trying to stay. I could push it a little bit and get faster if I need to, but as long as I'm right here behind Jeremy, I'll stay at that pace for right now.
Davey, that leads me to my final and most important question. What is your favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit? Strawberry.
Strawberry's a good one. I forget what Brio said earlier, honestly. I think he said bananas, maybe? No, he said grapes. Jeremy Brio said grapes. So, grapes and strawberries, 2 of my favorites as well. So that's a good one, man. Best of luck, Davey. We'll hopefully we talk to you at the end of the race.
Thank you, sir.
So the 21 getting tires, getting fuel, getting ready to restart this race. Stage number 3, the final stage, the final period of this ARC's di9 Design Monday Night Lightning semi-final coming to a close. Once again, big shout out to the folks at di9 Designs. Be sure to use their code di9 Designs on CircleBSales.com for free shipping on all your diecast and merch orders over $20. Off of pit road, the 74 gets the 21, and Jeremy Brio beats David Houck off that line to start stage number 3, clinch the title, and drive for the cycle. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey, big trouble here. The 94, motionless, headed into 1. Nick Pressey, Gav Hudspeth, Plutonics cheering on. Lurkin Tom, Pro Plutonics, and Gavin Hudspeth cheering on. And Nick Pressey saying he's a good driver. He's a favorite of a lot of people. People do like him very, very much. But hopefully this isn't the end for Nick. Something's gone wrong in that 94. The car's on. He's got... we can hear it. And he's idling, but he's just not moving, and he's still stuck on track. Luckily, the drivers haven't formed up to restart this race, but Brio and Houck and Roberts, potentially your top 3. Pro Plutonic says speeding penalty. Not sure why he'd be serving it in the entrance of turn number 1, but he is quite literally, have a look, in the entrance of turn number 1. Oh, miss him. Kobe Roberts missing the 22. Now here comes Ryan Pennell. Here comes the 2. And potentially Nick Pressey with that speeding penalty, if that's the case, going down to the 10th position, while Jeremy Brio comes back across that line. Lights are out on the Porsche 911, and we're going to get this party restarted. So it's going to be a Brio and a Houck front row with Samuel Roberts in the podium positions for the first time today. But the KC masterpiece, Seth Wansing, starting right next to him in row number 2. Wansing up 6 spots from where he started in 10th. And you cannot forget the pride of North Carolina, Dustin Painter, starting stage 3 in 5th. But what about Al Simkowski, the pilot of the number 99 Verizon Ford, has had too many mistakes for a road racer as experienced as himself. And how about the hometown flavor this week, Ryan Pennell, catching up to the rest of the pack. He's now in the 7th position. Can he secure a top 10 in his homecoming race? Pit stops have been made, and Brooklyn's Nick Pressey will be restarting in the 8th position. He's got a lot of work to do to make up that time in just over 15 laps of racing. You hear it from race communication, not going green. Lights are back on atop the pace car. We're going to let these drivers circle back around. We're going to have one more lap of caution. So while we're here, let's see if we can have a word with 3rd place, Sam Roberts, in the 15. Sam Roberts, it's Rick James up top. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Sam, you're sitting in 3rd for the first time today, my friend. What are the odds of that? Now, the question that everybody wants to know is, can you keep it there?
I mean, I'm going to try to, but I ain't too good at these tracks, but I'll give it all I got.
You've got Dustin Painter right to your side and Seth Wansing behind you in the Midwest Barbecue Chevrolet. What's been the toughest part about this track so far, SR?
Just remembering the turns, remembering where to brake at, and it's really the hardest part for me.
We asked Davey Houck. He said he's going to try and pit every chance he gets, as well as Jeremy Brio. If it comes to 5 laps to go, do you get tires?
Maybe, depending on the situation.
There's a lot of situations, a lot of variables, man. That's why we love racing. That's going to bring me to the most important question. Sam Roberts, what is your favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit? Probably strawberry.
So, you know, that's 2 for strawberry tonight. You and David Houck thinking alike there. All right. Good answer, man. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
All right, appreciate it.
Monroe, Georgia native in the 3rd position. 2 Georgia drivers tonight, one of them sitting in pit road, Daniel Roberts from Athens, Georgia, relation to Samuel Roberts in 3rd. Getting ready to restart now, just going through that extremely wide turn, and there's so much room for these cars to race, but when the corners are so wide and so flat, drivers often giving it just a little too much on the gas and kicking the back end out too far. When the tires start to wear, that's going to be an issue. Pro Plutonic saying he has my back as DW. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Kevin Hudspeth saying that Nick Pressey has his work cut out for him, but he is indeed talented, and that's no mistake at all. The number 94 of Nicholas Pressey, a very, very talented pilot. Often a reputation for giving the car just a little too much early on in the race and not saving his stuff for the end. But he managed an entire truck season to do well enough to win the title. There's a lot of talent, a lot of potential from the young Brooklyn native. Will he come back up into the top 3? We're about to find out. Getting ready to restart this 3rd stage. Lights out atop the Porsche 911. 15 laps to settle this race from Indianapolis. Houck and Brio on the front. Will it be a drive for the cycle and a championship clinch for Jeremy Brio? Waiting for the signal. Green flag is out. Seth Wansing now on the outside of Ryan Pennell, who's made it up into the 5th position. just ahead of the KC Masterpiece. Dustin Painter, Sam Roberts, 4th and 3rd. Then it's 7/10 between Jeremy Brio and David Houck at the front of this race. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey starting in 12th, up to 8th, coming to 14 laps to go in the Estates Ford. Trouble for the 94. Excuse me. That sounded hilarious. Let's go back and see what happened to the 94 of Nick Pressey. Looks like he just gave it too much on the gas out of the infield. Let's have a look, and that's exactly what happened. Have a look. Too much wheel combined with a little too much gas out of the corner. That puts him in that position there. Ryan Pennell off the track in 1. Kobe Roberts also off the track in the ninth position. The 12 and the 22 simultaneously going off the track. That's going to put Thomas Andrews into 9th. Kobe Roberts rounding out the top 10. At the front, David Houck all over the back end of car 74. Houck trying to get away in the 74, trying to win this title. Lucky number 13 laps to go, this time by 21, right on the back end of the 74, excuse me. David Houck is in 3rd. He's only 70 points off the leader, and even with a 1-2 finish, Houck to Brio respectively, the title could still fall into Brio's hands coming next week. Houck with one lonely win this season. He wants to catapult Cody Pennell in the points for 2nd. Kobe Roberts with an incident in the 10. Let's have a look. The 10th position. Well off track, as is Ryan Pennell. That seems from the lap earlier when they both went off track. Nick Pressey recently running into trouble, but back up to the 7th position. Lurk and Tom Gaming saying that these next-gen cars feel like GT cars, like sports cars. Warp Lotus agreeing, saying they feel like road racing cars. You can get someone loose just by riding behind them. Kirby Racing giving a what's up. What's going on, Kirby? Glad to have you here, buddy. You joined us with lucky number 13. Laps to go, and the top 2 separated by just 7/10, but now there's trouble here. Cars going off the track, and it's Al Simkowski who's gone around. Kobe Roberts gets around him for 9th. Here comes Tommy Withers trying to knock Simkowski out of the top 10. Let's have a look and see what happened to the Illinois native. Coming out of turn number 3, headed into the wide sweeping turn 4. So much room, he gets in way too hot. And the number 99 Verizon Ford goes for a ride. There goes Wansing, contact with Pressey on the front end. Painter, Pennell, Andrews, and Roberts all getting around the number 99 of Simkowski. Now riding on the fringes of the top 10, just 1 second off Kobe Roberts, and it sort of bunched these drivers together. Seth Wansing now ahead of Nick Pressey, who's worked his way into 5th since we restarted with 16 to go. Pressey down to the inside of the KC Masterpiece. And that's all he needed. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey into 4th. 5 seconds off the number 15 of Sam Roberts, who says this is not a track that he particularly enjoys, but he's making the best of it. Despite not liking this racetrack, he's got another 12 laps to hold a hard-charging, newly crowned ARC's Truck Champion. .11 laps to go. Brio to the inside. This for the lead. And he's made it stick. New leader, Jeremy Brio. Lurk and Tom Gaming saying Arg matey, and that's for David Houck. His nickname is Davy Jones, so apparently this afternoon they've taken to making pirate puns about him. And here's one for you. What is Davy Jones' favorite racing league? ARGS. David Houck in the second position, following Jeremy Brio by half a second now. Samuel Roberts in third, 10 seconds off of second place. Here comes Nick Pressey, who's 1.5 seconds off of Sam Roberts. Gavin Hudspeth saying Roberts is a good racer. Me and him had a fun battle about a season or two ago at Homestead. Sam Roberts sitting in third. He's going to have his work cut out for him. Nick Pressey with newly found confidence from last night, coming for that bronze medal in this cup race. Gavin Hudspeth says Nick's closing in, and he is indeed, as is the race for the lead, coming to 10 laps to go. Back to Pressey, chasing down Roberts. Pro Plutonics saying from 12th to 3rd, the man is on a mission tonight. Volsfan 88 putting up some emojis in the chat. I can't even see those. They look cool though. Oh, Volsfan Smokey. Oh, okay. That is pretty cool. Well, thanks, Vols fan. Appreciate you, buddy. Glad to have you here. Mama Vols in here as well. Glad to have the Vols family. The 94 gets around the 15. Sam Roberts overcooks it, and those burnt hot dogs come out of the fire way too well done. Turn one, burnt. Turn into ash. Let them go. Get 2 more out of the pack, Sam Roberts. Don't overcook it so long. You could have caused a fire. Seth Wansing now coming up behind him. 1 second off of the 15 car now. This is the battle for 3rd. Despite that excellent pass for 3rd, textbook by Nick Pressey. He's 10 seconds off the fight for the lead, but error by David Houck, overcooking the corner himself as John Honeybrink takes it too wide in the Home Depot Camry. Now taking the scenic route around the end of the infield, back on the surface in front of cars. John Honeybrink going slow as Brooklyn's Nick Pressey approaches. Honeybrink back up to speed. Pressey being pursued by Roberts. Dustin Painter now gets to the inside of Seth Wansing. The 49 car up against the wall. Now here's Wansing trying to hold off Simkowski. This for 5th. Fifth and 6th, Wansing and Simkowski fighting for the spot. 8 to go. Next time by, the Midwest Barbecue Chevrolet enters the braking zone. You can see the front nose slam down. Simkowski still looking up the inside. Simkowski smokes the tires into 1. Lurkin Tom Gaming says, no, Dustin. Talking about Dustin Painter in that 49. Back to this fight. Wansing just a couple of tenths ahead of Simkowski. Gavin Hudspeth says 4x4 mode activated on the Camry as Kobe Roberts has an incident into the number 22 Shell Ford, and there goes 4x4 mode again. He's turned that Camry into a RAV4 by the looks of it, or a Tundra if you like. That actually was really funny, Gav. That's a really funny joke. If you don't mind, Gav, I'm gonna take that. Next time someone goes off, I'm gonna say they activated 4x4 mode because that's actually really funny. Not so funny is Jeremy Brio's gap shrinking. Not funny for him, hilarious for David Houck though, coming to 8 laps to go. The 21 finding himself just 2 seconds behind and closing. Dustin Painter on the fringes of the top 10. He's only seconds ahead of 10th place, Ryan Pennell. Painter trying to get close to Kobe Roberts, however, the destroyed right-hand side of that number 2 Miller Ford belonging to Connecticut's Thomas Andrews, finding himself 12 seconds off of 6th place. Seth Wansing now catching up to Roberts. Again, this is the battle for the 5th position. Wansing to the outside. Wansing being very patient, not sending it in. Despite all the jokes, hats off to John Honeybrink right there. He did not have to hit the brakes. Headed into 1, He let those two take their fight, and he wasn't in the middle of that. That is heads-up driving by the 20. Hats off. And I will say this about Honeybrink. He may not be having a very good road course race, but if you get him on a super speedway, look out. He is one of the great bump drafting masters. Watch out for Honeybrink next time we hit up Daytona or Talladega. He's unbelievably good. Lurkin Tom Gaming says, some good racing going on. These guys are treating each other better than the real-life Cup Series guys. And that comes down to the driver meeting, Tom. These drivers had a talk with each other. The gap now half a second from first to second. Ryan Pennell, who's kind of the representative for the drivers, if you will, as far as leading that meeting, reminding everybody to be patient. A lot of drivers saying, be patient, keep the car on the track, and you will be there at the end. That is the mentality they've taken tonight. Dustin Painter now getting around Thomas Andrews. These two good friends, nose to tail. That for the 8th position. Let's have another look. Just textbook around that 2 car. You could see Thomas Andrews wanted to give him a little bit of a love tap there. Nothing doing. Painter up into 8th. Kobe Roberts rocking the 7th position. His gap slowly dwindling as Seth Wansing manages to get around Sam Roberts. Roberts falling off the racetrack. Let's have a look and see what happened to car 15. Did he overcook it? Overcooked it. Ooh, he really overcooked it. That is burnt. That is beyond well done, Sammy. Really struggling there, but luckily he gets back on track. Sam Roberts in the 6th position. Seth Wansing 3 seconds ahead. 3 seconds behind 4th place Al Simkowski, and Simkowski finds himself 11 seconds adrift of David Houck. Or I'm sorry, Simkowski 11 seconds behind Pressey. Pressey 15 seconds behind Houck, who is only 3/4 of a second behind race leader and potential champion Jeremy Brio. Lurkin Tom Gaming saying 21 and 74, going to have a great battle for this win. Thomas Andrews manages to get around Ryan Pennell. Here comes Dustin Painter. Painter briefly going off track and losing the spot back to Thomas Andrews. So now these three going to have a good battle, but Andrews won't be a part of it. He's off the track now. Here comes Dustin Painter on Ryan Pennell. These two fighting for 8th. Painter can't quite seal the deal. These two also great friends in the ARC's garage. The 12 ahead of the 49 just by a couple of tenths. 5 laps to go next time around. The 12 car holding steady. The 49 looking to his inside now. Jeremy Brio now ahead of David Houck for the lead. Just a 1/4 of a second separates these two. Painter gets around Pennell. Ryan Pennell falling off the track. Let's see what happened here. Goes in way too hot. You can see the smoke coming around. And a bit of a bump into the wall there. Back to the front, though. Jeremy Brio leading David Houck by a few tenths now. Houck right on the back end of the 74. 4 to go next time by. More Than a Cape saying, what's up? What's going on, Cape? Glad to have you here, pal. Gavin Hudspeth saying, if the 74 and 21 battle now, then Nick might be able to catch up. Pressey still 12.5 seconds adrift as he's got no draft help down that front straight. Al Simkowski 14 seconds behind the Brooklyn native, trying to keep his 3-second gap over 5th place, Seth Wansing. Brio out in front of David Houck, 1-2 coming through the infield section. David Houck trying to get his second win, and Jeremy Brio trying to clinch the title. Nick Pressey just trying to come home in the 3rd position, while Dustin Painter manages to get around Thomas Andrews. Who's that that's just gone off? Was that Honeybrink? And it is John Honeybrink. Activates 4x4 mode on the Camry one more time. Andrews running undisturbed in 9th, just behind North Carolina's Dustin Painter, and the hometown driver Ryan Pennell trying to secure a top 10. But Tommy Withers coming up behind him fast, and the number 6 Viagra Mustang, Withers going very wide in 4. Pennell smooth out of the infield, now following what appears to be the 20 of Honeybrink, and that is John Honeybrink in the number 20 Home Depot Toyota. Thomas Andrews up ahead, he's running 9th. Painter chasing down Kobe Roberts, this for the 7th position. Roberts holding a 2-second advantage, now 1.5 seconds over Painter out of the infield. Jeremy Brio also holding a slim advantage coming to the final 3 laps of racing. Sam Roberts with more trouble as the number 15 Wrangler Ford goes for a ride off in the grass. Really been a trouble spot for Sam Roberts this evening. You can see he locks up the front tires just trying to get it settled, but he's stable and back on the racetrack once again. Jeremy Brio leading David Houck in 2nd. Lurkin Tom saying with 3 to go, it's all Brio and the Pirate up front. Talking about David Houck, they call him Davy Jones, the Pirate, in that 2nd position. Warp Lotus says he had to quit the paid league he joined. It was bad. Warp Lotus talking about loving ARCs because they give you room until it's go time. Then it's wild. And wild is pretty much an understatement. These next 3 laps are going to be 2.5 now, are going to be pretty fun to watch. Houck trying to close the gap to Brio, but he's got to be patient. Meanwhile, Dustin Painter up to Kobe Roberts by 1.2 seconds now. Seth Wansing, 1.2 seconds behind Al Simkowski, the 99, and known for his road racing prowess. Is the car wounded? Almost going off track. Warp Lotus says Houck isn't using as much brake. There he is, just 0.4 off the leader going through the infield. Here's Kobe Roberts in front of Dustin Painter. Painter closing up that gap now. Honeybrink off the track coming out of the infield behind Ryan Pennell, who's now dropped out of the top 10. Closing up now on Tommy Withers, just 4.5 seconds remaining between Tommy Withers and Ryan Pennell. This is the battle for the final spot in the top 10. Lurkin Tom saying, can't wait to see how this one turns out. Roberts locking it up. Painter following him now, and Roberts giving the signal that he feels the heat coming from the 49. Pro Plutonic says, sadly, he needs a caution to make anything happen, talking about Nick Pressey. When these two are just half a second behind, don't count your chickens just yet. Just under 5 miles is all that remains in this race. Wansing getting around Samuel Roberts as Roberts goes off track again. No, this is just into turn 1 from last time. It was Wansing trying to chase down Simkowski. There's Simkowski, 1.5 seconds ahead now. And Painter trying to get Kobe Roberts for the spot. 1.5 laps to go. Brio extending his lead over Houck, but they're getting in front of lap traffic. Tommy Withers goes off track. Ryan Pennell closes the gap per second. Kobe Roberts, he's got 2 more laps to hold off the pride of North Carolina. Here comes Painter. Hudspeth saying those two are neck and neck, talking about Kobe Roberts and Dustin Painter. Al Simkowski starting to have his mirror full of Midwest Barbecue logo. Nick Pressey running into some trouble in the 94, briefly going off track. Back to Wansing. Leaders take the white flag. Brio's got it in front of Houck. They get around that lap traffic. No problem. Brio needs to stay mistake-free in this final lap. Wansing within 1 second of Simkowski. 3 miles to go for 4th and 5th, respectively. Here comes Dustin Painter on Kobe Roberts. He's gotten around him for 7th. Roberts, will he have a rebuttal for the 49? All over the back end now. Houck trying to close that gap, but he can't get desperate. He's got to hit his marks. Wansing all over the back end of Simkowski. Wansing sends it in too hot into 1, and there's contact. Kobe Roberts and Dustin Painter coming together on the final lap. Have a look. The 22 sending it deep on the 49. Back to the front. Tommy Withers has a crash now. 74, there's the 6 of Tommy Withers. 74 now gets out of the infield, and it's nothing but clear sailing to the end. David Houck gives it too much gas, and that's going to confirm it. Brio just needs to bring it home in one piece. Out of the final corner, it's been a record season for Jeremy Brio. His 5th win of the year, and what could very well be the clinch for the di9 Designs Monday Night Lightning Championship. Brio getting a well-deserved W. No mistakes all race long. Houck giving his congratulations. Here comes Nick Pressey for the 3rd spot, coasting to a comfortable 3rd position. Here's Al Simkowski just ahead of Seth Wansing, and Wansing will come up just a lap short on the 99. Simkowski gets 4th. Seth Wansing coming home in 5th. Dustin Painter and Kobe Roberts coming together on the final lap. Let's have one more look at what happened here. Keep your eye on the 22. He's going to give it a full send to the 49. Bam. Wonder what discussions those two will have afterwards. Dustin Painter now coming around. Jeremy Brio, though, getting that W, doing some burnouts all over the place. His 5th win in 9 races. He's batting over 500 now this season. An incredible effort for Jeremy Brio. And by the time the points shake out, he could be the champion. Fans, be sure to stay tuned. We're going to have podium interviews in just a couple of moments here. David Houck coming down pit road. Nick Pressey will do the same. And there is your race winner, Jeremy Brio. Some well-deserved brickyard burnouts await this man here.
Are we off?
Jeremy Brio getting that W. And some burnouts on the front straight, getting that win. His 5th this year. Burn the house down, Jeremy. What a way to get the job done. Fans, sit tight. Post-race interviews coming in just a moment. the podium finish.
Thank you, Rick. It's real shame about that speeding penalty at the at the end of stage 2. I thought we had a really solid car. Um, you know, I like to these guys are terribly fast on road courses though, so no promises even without it. Um, I wish nothing but the best for Jeremy Briel on his championship, and an excellent finish for David Houck.
Once again, congratulations on that third place finish. Now with our silver medalist tonight, Davey Houck. Did you have anything for that 74 car? You two put on an excellent show tonight.
I thought I did, and he messed up a couple corners, and I had a chance, and was a little too patient. Could have gave him the bumper a couple times. I was really fast through the technical sections, and then he had a good launch off the infield onto the oval, and that's where it kind of killed me a lot. If I had a good lap on the oval part, I think I would have had a shot. I'm just too nice of a guy. Great job to Jeremy. Clean race. Excited to finish second to him again. Yeah, car felt great. I love this place.
Congratulations on that second place finish. We'll see you in a week's time at Michigan. And before we get to our winning interview by di9 Designs, we got to give a big shout out to the folks that bring us the winning interview. di9 Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Insta at di9 Designs, posting graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Use their discount code di9designs on circlebsales.com for free shipping on all your die-cast and merch over $20. And now the winner. Driver of the number 74 Smeal Racing Designs Chevrolet Camaro, Jeremy Briel, with your 5th win this season. You are the new di9 Designs Monday Night Lightning champion.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I didn't think starting out the season, I didn't think past Charlotte we were gonna do any good, but I guess it just went my way this year. It was a lot of fun racing with these guys. We still got one more week left, but Davey puts on a hell of a show on these road courses, and Nick making the field every week because he ran the truck series full time and he won the championship. So congratulations to him on that one. And yeah, it was just run consistent, and that's how we did it.
You did it, and you came home in first place, your 5th win this season. 7 days from now, we're going to close out the season in Michigan. Will it be 6 wins in 10 starts?
I hope so. But been just putting on a hell of a show with me. But on the oval, everybody's going to have a shot, especially Michigan. It's going to be a drafting track. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
We'll see you next week for the season finale, Jeremy. Congratulations once again.
All right. Thanks, Rick.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. Mama Vols, Lurkin Tom Gaming, Gavin Hudspeth, Warp Lotus, and everybody else. Subscribers, keep on subscribing for more ad-free and behind-the-scenes content, and let me know what we can do. Drop me a DM on Twitter so you can inform us on how we can make your viewing experience just that little bit better. Tomorrow night, we restart a new season of the OG Modifieds. Stay tuned for that. Going to be 8:10 p.m. tomorrow night on this channel. But in 7 days' time, we close out the Monday Night Lightning season at the Michigan International Speedway. Until then, fans, take care of each other. Stay